Okay, hey Desiree and Naya. Thank y'all so much again for coming back. I'm really glad to see you guys again. During our last session, we explored some of your communication patterns and some areas where you guys said some tension showed up within your relationship. What stood out to me the most was like the underlying tension. There was still care and commitment there, though. Before we begin today, I want to acknowledge something. So coming back from the second to our second session and agreeing to practice some structure taking it takes a lot of courage. So not every couple is willing to slow down and try something new. So I am applauding you guys for coming back and sticking with it. Today we're going to practice some skills called simple listening and repeat. It may feel slower than your usual conversations, and it may even feel unnatural at first, but that's okay. We are all learning together. The goal today is not to solve the big issues. The goal is to just practice understanding and the emotional safety within the relationship. When understanding increases, the defenses decrease. So, before we start, I want each of you to do something for me. When conflict happens between you guys, what do you fear the most, like in that moment? Desiree, you could go first.
When I think about it, I fear being misunderstood. That's my biggest fear.
Okay, Naya.
I fear disappointing her or messing up.
Okay, I want to thank you both for expressing that to me. That gives us some important work to do today. Um, I heard you say, Desiree, that you were feeling misunderstood, and Naya, you were feeling like basically you've been closed off this whole time because you've been scared of letting her down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
hmm
okay, so here's how this works moving forward. One of you will speak for about 1 to 2 minutes about something meaningful to you. Not explosive, just something that you want your partner to understand better from your point of view. The other person will listen, no interrupting, no defending, no correcting. Just give that person the floor to express themselves. This is the moment where we're not going to try to cut each other off so that we can hear what our partner is saying. That way, it'll also give us a better understanding of how to respond when it is our turn. Um, then the listener will repeat back exactly what they heard. This is also implementing some active listening skills for you guys so that you're not just listening to respond, but listening to understand what your partner is saying to you. Um, so most of the conflict doesn't come from the lack of love between you two. It also comes from just being misunderstood. Today we're practicing slowing down the normal patterns of arguing back and forth, not listening. Are you guys willing to try this exercise today with me?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I am.
All right. So Desiree, would you be willing to go first?
Yes.
All right. So I need you to take a deep breath before you begin. All right, and when you're ready, you share something that you've been wanting to express to Naya, that you feel like she's been misunderstanding you.
Okay. I have been dealing with this, and I feel like when I bring something up serious, especially about how I feel, I sometimes feel like I'm just walking away, feeling like I'm the problem. Like I'm too emotional. I'm overreacting. Or maybe I'm just making a big deal out of something that's small, but it means something to me. And then when I get quiet, not when I get quiet, but when she gets quiet, I can't. It's hard to read her, and then I can't interpret that. And then I interpret that it's her shutting down on me. or shutting me out, like basically shutting me out of the whole problem. Then I start questioning myself, and then after that, resentment builds. But it brings up things because I care about us, like I really do, and I just bring it up because I don't want to fight. I just want to try to talk, but I think I make I just make a bigger than what it is. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, and I want to thank you for expressing those feelings. Those were some very big feelings. Um, Before we move on, I would also like to deepen just a little. When you say that you feel like you're the problem, what emotions are tied like underneath that? Is it hurt? Are you feeling fear, insecurity?
I want to say it's hurt, maybe some insecurities. I start feeling like I'm too much.
Okay, and that's important. Now, Naya, take a deep breath before you respond and tell me what you heard Desiree say to you.
Okay. Okay, I hear you that you feel hurt and insecure when you bring up something serious, and when I get quiet, you think you're too much for me or you're overstimulating me. And when you start questioning yourself and resentment just builds, and you're not trying to fight, you're trying to protect the relationship or preserve what we have at that moment.
Okay, Desiree, did it sound like she captured what you were trying to say?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, so how does it feel hearing her reflect your words?
Well, it does calm my mind. It makes me feel calmer. Like she really heard me this time.
Okay, and Naya, for you, what was it like to just listen and then reflect instead of just getting defensive?
Um, it was hard not to explain myself or to not to tell my side of the story, but I realized that I need to sit and think and pay attention. And I realized that she wasn't trying to yell or attack me or comfort me. She was just explaining how she felt in the moment.
Right, and that's good. That's actually a great shift in this moment right now. So let's pause and take a body check. What do you notice physically different right now, Desiree?
Now I feel like my chest is less tight. Like it's starting to let go.
Okay, and Naya, how are you feeling right now?
I feel more relaxed. I feel more at ease. I don't feel myself racing, trying to I don't feel like I'm trying to fight the situation. I'm actually in it and feeling it and actually processing what she's saying.
Okay, and that's good for the both of you guys. That tells me that your nervous systems are calming. When anxiety lowers, empathy increases, and that's why the chest feels lighter and the shoulders are more relaxed. You feel heard. You feel like you're good with her being heard now. You're good with satisfying her. You know now that you're not disappointing her by actually just listening. Um, Now we'll switch. And Naya, when you're ready to share something, go ahead and let Desiree hear what you've been holding in.
Okay. When we get into our fights or our problems and she comes to me with something, I automatically shut down because I'm scared of saying the wrong thing, or the things that I would say would spin the whole thing out of control into a bigger fight or to a bigger issue. And when she does sound upset, I assume that I automatically did something wrong, that it's always my fault, and I have failed, and I just freeze up because I don't want to make it worse. I just want to figure out how to fix the situation. And I do care very much about her and our relationship as a whole. So much that I don't want to lose her. So I just stay quiet and just enough for me to think of something else to say, but I end up not saying anything.
Okay. And when you say you're scared of failing, what are you afraid will happen?
Does she think that I don't care or I'm not enough to be with her? Because it's like in my mind when she says something, it's like, oh, when you saying something, it got to be something wrong with me, or you critiquing me, and that's probably why I do get defensive, and then we start going back and forth, and it do becomes a fight because I'm constantly defending myself instead of or shutting down instead of listening to her specifically of what she's trying to say.
Okay, thank you. Those are some very big feelings for you as well. Desiree, I need you to take a deep breath and now you tell me what you heard Naya say to you.
Okay. I heard her say, you shut down because you're scared of failing. When I'm upset, you assume you did something wrong. You freeze because you don't want to lose me, and you're afraid I'll think you're not enough.
Okay, so Naya, do you feel like she captured everything that you was trying to say to her?
Yes, she explained it very well. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. So Desiree, hearing that she fears not being enough for you, what comes up for you when you hear that?
Well, I don't want her to think that that's not how I see her.
Okay, would you be willing to say that directly?
Naya, you're not enough. I just want you to understand. I just want us to understand each other more.
Okay, thank you. That means a whole lot.
So let's slow down again. What differences about this conversation compared to your usual ones? Like, what was different for you guys? What did you like better or not like?
I feel like we didn't interpret this time around.
I feel like it didn't turn into a yelling match of us just screaming at each other or just her screaming and me just closing her out. I think we actually sat and listened to each other this time without trying to work, trying to be selfish and worry about my feelings or her worrying about her feelings. We actually paid attention to what each person needs and how to deal with the situation.
Right. So on a scale from 1 to 10, um, how hopeful do you feel about your communication when you walked in?
Oh, at first I'm definitely was at a 5.
And Naya, what about you?
A four, maybe a three or four.
Okay. And after our first session and after what we've gotten within the second session, where do you feel your communication lies now?
I'll give it us a 7.
Maybe a
Naya.
six. Maybe a six. I give us a six.
Okay, and I need both of you to understand that that shift really matters. We're no longer where we started at, so that is better. Um, if you practice this once a week or for over the next 3 months, what would change?
I think we'll argue less intensely. We'll at least learn to talk to each other and not at each other.
Hmm. Naya.
Um, I'm gonna learn most likely not to internalize what she's saying, and not feeling so anxious all the time when she comes to me about stuff. I'll just slow myself down and listen.
So I want you guys to know that what you guys learned today, and what we practiced was not perfection. It was regulation. As we talked about before, That comes with patience, emotional restraint, and that's growth. I saw Naya open up a lot more during this session than she did the first session, and that's great. That's great moving forward for the both of you when it comes to the communication era. I observed two people who were willing to slow down instead of just react the way that they've been reacting today. And that tells me that the relationship is teachable. You guys are willing to learn from each other. For homework, I want you guys to practice this once a week. Keep it small, keep the structure. One speaks, one listens, and then one repeats. And then you guys switch roles. You'll do this anytime you guys feel like you're having any disagreement or misunderstanding. Growth often feels unnatural for anybody within any circumstance, not just relationship wise, but with anything. So it's normal to feel like, hey, I don't think I want to do this today, or I don't feel up to it. But in those moments, I need you to think about the other person. That's genuinely what this exercise is all about. Listening to the other person and responding to the other person's feelings, and not just your own. You might not feel it today, but I know that my partner, this is what my partner needs. That is what we need to think about every time you guys are faced with anything like this. So I just want to say thank you again for your time, and I hope that you guys learned something, and I look forward to our next session.
Okay.